AQUA transmission systems, with their specially softer engine mounts, are designed to remove vibration and structure-borne noise, reducing noise on board by up to 75%. We all believe the propeller shaft turns the propeller, forgetting that what it actually does is to push the boat along. The thrust, or push, from the propeller is sent up the shaft, onto the engine, and strains the engine mounts forwards to move the boat along. Imagine the forces on a sailing yacht in a storm, or on a powerboat crashing into a wave at 25 knots. Think how hard it is for the engine mounts to act as a soft cushion to reduce vibration when subjected to shocks. Forget the strains imposed by the propeller's thrust for a minute, and imagine how hard it is to align the engine and the propeller shaft. Generally, a marine engine has to be aligned with the propeller shaft coupling to within 0.003 of an inch. Imagine the time this takes, and the changes which occur in a slightly flexible fiberglass hull when it crashes off the top of a wave, or is craned in and out of the water. So there we have it, a shaft which needs to be kept in line within thousandths of an inch, pushing along a boat weighing many tons, with no flexibility in itself, so all the engine's vibration is transmitted straight down the shaft to the hull, straining the engine mounts forwards to prevent them doing their job. Effectively, we have an engine which is trying to move on its rubber mounts, and a solid stainless steel propeller shaft trying to stop it doing so. It's no surprise that today's technology has solved the problem with the AQUA system. AQUA, the technology of the new century. A tough clamp couples onto the existing propeller shaft. A robust thrust bearing takes the propeller's push straight into the hull. Two giant steel flexible joints allow the engine to vibrate freely. And the engine mounts are no longer strained forwards by the propeller's push or thrust, so they can finally work properly, or perhaps be replaced by even softer mounts. The propeller shaft fits into a specially engineered clamp supplied to suit the diameter involved. The thrust bearing is attached to a new crossmember in the hull. It takes both forwards and stern thrust and is rubber-mounted to reduce propeller vibration being transmitted on board. The thrust now moves the boat forwards via the new crossmember in the hull, so no strains are put on the engine mounts and they can concentrate on their real role, reducing noise and vibration. So how can an AQUA be so flexible? Simple. Now the propeller thrust has been put where it belongs, the engine can be isolated from the shaft by superbly engineered constant velocity joints, scaled up from the technology you'd find in a front-wheel drive Audi or Mercedes. These joints allow the engine to be installed up to ½ an inch out of line. They allow the engine to jump around on its mounts, up and down, left to right, tilting forwards, tilting backwards. They even allow the engine to vibrate backwards and forwards by up to 3/4 of an inch. So finally, the engine mounts are free to work. They're not strained forwards by thrust from the propeller. They have no shock loads. They can get on with their job in peace, or even be replaced by softer options. And the engine's vibration no longer goes straight down the shaft and back onto the hull. So the 5 main vibration transmission spots have been dealt with. 4 softer engine mounts and a coupling which allows them to work. And incidentally, it solves the age-old problem of engine alignment by making it virtually unnecessary. And just look at the result. Noise on this small, fast workboat was reduced by 9 decibels. Remember, noise doubles every 3 decibels, so a 6 decibel reduction equals 75%. AQUA, smoother, quieter boating, the vital step to peace and quiet on board.